I don't know. He's just some pinko spouting entry levels while showing him pictures of naked men, forcibly kisses her and then check his pants to see if he's pitched 3/4 of a tent like I did. I would do a genital electrode test and visual inspection. That's why my gaydar is so accurate. I am one of the only gaydar testers in all of North America who is
economic recovery since 1929.
This is
It was the slowest recovery.
overwhelming
Also,
me right
they
now.
took over something
Most
that was
of us
down
are
here. All you
coming
had to
up
do is
with
turn
the
on the lights and you
British.
pick up a lot.
We
But
got
the slowest
21
economic
to 1
recovery
right
since
now.
1929.
British
Let me
are
tell
the
you about the
ones
stock market.
who, at least
When the
according
stock
to the
market goes up,
worksheet,
that
What a
have more
stupid question.
advantages.
means
Oh my goodness,
401ks.
another one,
If
22
you
to
got
1.
in, if you ever
That
became
is a
president
lot
with
of
your
people, or
ideas,
a
you
lot
want
of
to terminate my
advantages
taxes,
we are giving to the
I'll tell you what,
British
you'll lose
over the
half of the
colonists.
companies that have
Okay,
poured in
so
here
let's break
will
this
leave,
down then.
and
Like,
plenty
what
of companies
are
that are
some
already
of
here, they'll
those
leave for
advantages?
other.
Of not moving myself forward, the spiritual cobwebs that we're forming.
Started from the bottom, now we way
Human
up, way up.
thought
And I got the baddest bitch to stay
paradigms
ain't no
that
fucking playing, we ain't game
are not
now we got a name
going
they
to
wanna
be
frame
the
us.
best logical
Make sure
way
that you
for
keep
you
the third eye. All these niggas ain't gon' ride, all these hoes gon' wanna side. Now they playing both sides. Man, a nigga traumatized. Mama told me
And
don't cry.
so for
Nah,
example,
nigga,
sunk
with the
cost
mind.
fallacy would be what my pops did not suffer from, which was oh, I spent $450 on this Sony Ericsson cellular.
Out of car and unlocks the game. Fucking place must have had a
Mom,
space scene
damn
with
it,
no
Mom!
comedy design.
Holy shit!
Always
70
design
laps,
curves
and I just...
angles. 2. Story plaza with stairs, elevator, walkway.
That in mind, it can add 2 years of boxing training and 2 years in the gym in terms of street predicaments to just have that mindset of situational awareness.
When I walk in, bitches staring, they take dicks. My piece is hitting, your shit looking like some tap water. We ain't worried about you coming like a back order. I feel like
bars. They have to be outside the city walls, or you gotta kill them.
Destroy the Republican Party. We the people! We will not accept mere investigations that go nowhere. Comments?
Yeah.
Shit,
Not really, I guess. You with Alex? I guess. We love Trump! We love Trump! We love Trump! Joe Biden! We're just marching, chat. We're just marching.
You know, I can see what you do job doing anything if you can pull this off. Yeah, right. Just flying the plane around, you seem comfortable with that? Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Vibers, we love you guys. I will see you probably on Friday. I'll see you in Phoenix.
Cat, right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to submit a new link.
Way, Grand Canyon, etc. See a bunch of tourists with their happy families. Get super lonely.
I have to.
Decide to try and find my uncle.
Sorry, man.
Takes a lot of searching, but eventually.
He, you know, when he got out of prison, he was very poor, and actually broke his neck in an injury, you know, and that didn't help his recovery. But you know, his time incarcerated destroyed Walter. unfortunately.
That is. Now, Trump was winding those things down. What was the neocon agenda for the past 5 years? War with Iran. The neocon agenda was war with Iran. That's the nation officially canceled their policy of regime change. Nikki Haley, who was the UN ambassador at the time, and Rex Tillerson, who was the Secretary of State at the time, they both
stood out to me so much. It was when Maribel left Delaware. And I think it just brings so much meaning other than just like immigrant stories. Like it really, I think it connects with anyone, like anyone. And I think it is very like.
This is taking the vague and putting a human face on it. Okay. So, and I think that's an important.
And nobody cares. And they're actually going to cheer it on because they're going to say, wow, those people got what was coming to them. That's what left-wing people are saying.
All about?
How many liberals are saying that? A disturbing amount, a disturbing percentage of them. And many people in the media and everywhere else, I'm sure, are feeling the exact same way. So that's the church bombing. Scary stuff. Protect yourself. Our next story is about kids killing themselves. That's Joe Biden's America. So this is really a rough subject. It doesn't get much worse than this. And, it's been especially difficult since the Capitol siege because we're really...
I was screaming at the beat just like Mike, looking for a bright light. Somebody on the
somewhere online, on a website or something. So what you do is this. You go to the mass resistance now. There's resistance from within the House GOP. There's great thinkers, really impressive people. Rad trads. What language would you recommend learning? Mandarin, Spanish, Jive?
Going back to, those who said that we've all got individual reasons for posting. It sounds like there are,
other ones like resharing, retweeting, etc. And those are what's being pushed to the front instead of someone who's gone through the process of vetting a thing. And so maybe having so much freedom on the social media websites is part of the reason why we're seeing more disinformation being shared from place to place. I'm not sure exactly if that was what you meant, Will, but I'm trying to make kind of a connection to what Mr. Schaefer was saying. And so now Ryan is saying people who are gullible need to see what they're agreeing to in more simple and to kind of see is this an issue we've always had or is this maybe an issue that we've had for a while. Shot in the Battle of Lexington, which is the first battle of the American. Okay, so I like what Sam is saying. So she's saying, first of all, what we're seeing in here is, two very different stories of who shot first, right? Essentially, the British officer is blaming the colonists, and the colonists are blaming the British. That there is no agreement between those two. And Sam is saying, well, I can tell that during World War I, all right? During World War I. Okay, so...
Bros, drinking at the house. Call up some friends. It's desert party time. Drive into nowhere on a dirt road. So we can shoot targets and shit and listen to obnoxiously loud music. 30 miles of driving. Completely as follows. He watched US leave the party camp last night. He said goodbye to us. He says that we left abruptly with the Houthi guy. Damn, where were you last night?
Took my wallet out of my hand while I was inside the car.
You didn't want to provide it. And you're
no, that doesn't mean anything. That.
You can record me all you want.
What's your partner's number?
You'd have to ask him.
You have a name.
Hold on. Your wallet's up here.
when you're somebody who doesn't necessarily feel that I value the most, is that which comes from
actually began to stir. The child was frostbitten and ill, but still clinging to
$5 billion for Donald Trump and Joe Biden to run their campaigns. And the anti-China stuff, that's good because we could use that to the benefit of federal contractors. 5G and military buildup and trade deals like TPP and TTIP with the Pacific countries, right? So
Nobody asked where I went for lunch. At this point, everyone had correctly assumed that I despised them. But we grew closer in spite of it all, going on tangents about the uselessness of higher education.
This is what models. I had one from the mid-70s and 70s pot metal, but it worked until I broke it.
It would happen anyway. The government for 4 years resisted big tech censorship. The thing that you have to keep in mind about empires and kings and boring to me. It's different feel. Cheers. Who do I want to be? That's a good question.
As weird as that sounds for the most part with little guys.
Making everything yellow, fuck it, except for the windows.
Dude, this budgie was sleeping on the ground.
This butt cheek.
You keep saying that.
It's funny.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. He's a butt cheek. He's a butt cheek. It's a butt cheek.
It's a budgie.
It's a butt cheek.
It's a Hellcat.
Nah, dude. Misho spent 6 racks on a damn hamster and you fucking gave birth to it.
Dude,
Frankie
so
have used to
funny, 'cause I
vape.
actually met that girl after that got the hamster. That's funny. Actually, they're not mites. There is. Dude, what if Rob is actually the spiritual Jeffrey Epstein?
Yo, let that sink in.
Twitter, and I said, this is a dumb analogy.
In some ways unassailable. It's unassailable by the average Joe, sure. But it's also unassailable by the
containment consultants for some reason, which they practically never do, accompanied by singing and dancing. The third has the
fucking ground invasion by China, if that's stock.
Would say, right after saying how long is this boat in meters, they'd probably put parentheses there and say 100 centimeters is 1 meter or something. But for metric conversions, I think that's something we should.
あんなオーバーアクションなカニ走りでこの俺についてこられるわけがねえぜ。この感じ。
But it's absolutely a necessary part of life. There are a lot of horrible and horrific things in the SCP.
Particular phone, then your particular charger. That was kind of the dark ages of.
I loved you once, Tony.
That's a satire that's not meant to be taken seriously. That doesn't mean it can't have a point.
Serious.
Dude, you need to wake up the rest of the guys.
He said. Peter, tell me what's going on. Is there...
Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video.